we're back in it again for the second time.
Back again.
This time I can see you perfectly. You're not moving at 3 frames per second. However, my transcripts, I think, is transcribing in Chinese for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it thinks we're talking in Chinese.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Is it because of my accent, or
probably, man. You're throwing it off.
Well, where's this guy from?
Okay, there it is. There, perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll have you introduce us this time. How did we? Well, first, who are you?
Yeah.
You know, obviously Dante Roʻze, but for those that don't know you, how would you kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah, my real name's Dave. I go by Dante Roʻze as the artist, and I've been doing music for the last. I've been like producing music as an artist for maybe 20 years, but doing it as Dante Roʻze as a serious thing, like the last 3 years, I would say, 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And this is a funny little story. How did we first meet?
Well, we first met at a dropshipping meetup. It was Scott Hilsey put on this dropshipping meetup. Yeah, we met there, and then we changed contact details. And then I think I happened to be in Newport, right? Like maybe a year later or something. Or was it not even that one? I don't know. Sometime later, and I hit you up saying I'm in Newport. Do you want to hang out? Yeah, and we linked up, and then shortly after we met, some like frat boys came out of nowhere, and I think they knew you, right?
Yeah.
And they invited you to some party because there wasn't enough boys, so they needed some boys, which never happened. And these are young kids. How old were they?
They're like 18, 19.
Yeah, and I'm like, in my 30s. So he's like, all right, let's check this out. So we went to this frat party. I was just interested because, being in the UK, we didn't have that kind of shit. So
yeah.
So we went there, and I didn't feel welcome there at all. We was there for about 5 minutes, then we left pretty swiftly. But
no, we got kicked out.
Oh, we got kicked out.
We got judged, right? They judged us.
We got judged out. Yeah.
That one girl, right? She came up to like that sorority girl came up to your girlfriend at the time and told her like, oh, I think there's like some kind of the mixer or like the work party you're looking for is like down the street, and we're like, oh damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't want. I didn't even want to go because they invited me, right? Because they're frat boys from UCI, and I'm from Long Beach, and so we know each other by association. I met a couple of them before, but I looked at you guys and I was like, yeah, I think we might be a little too old for this kind of party. And they were like, no, just come. There's free beer, there's free alcohol. I was like, I mean, all right.
I think the girls didn't even want to go in. I think they didn't even come in right away. And I just walked in there because I was interested to check it out. And then you went straight to the fridge. And I was like in the middle of this room. I didn't know anybody. And they were all like stood around the edges. I was just right in the middle, like not knowing what to do with myself.
Yeah, I mean, going for the fridge is pretty common. Yeah. That was funny, man. That was a crazy night because we just met up at randomly Newport, and then we ended up at a frat party at UCI. Well, fun times. So yeah, Scott Hilsey is how we met. Did you just see his post on Instagram? He
did, yeah. I wondered if we should talk about that. I don't know. But
who is this Yusuf? What's happening? What is he up to?
Junior, right? Some guy called Junior. I think from what I can see, Scott Hilsey has paid him for a service to get an Instagram account that isn't used. And this guy hasn't delivered it, and he's like holding his money or something like that. But yeah, man, I hope he doesn't get in any trouble. It's like it's good of him to, post about it and try and get his money back. But
so it's not a business partner that screwed him over.
I think They've been on a podcast together. I don't know too much. I don't want to say too much. I know they've been on a podcast together. I remember his name. I don't know too much about it. But
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
some drama there.
Yeah, dang. Well, I hope everything gets settled swiftly and
Yeah, I hope
fairly.
so too.
Yeah, it's interesting how we come from drop shipping, and you more so. I think last time we spoke, it was at the frat party, like in person. Was the last time we spoke, and you were at this moment in time where you're going either to making music or continuing drop ship, but you didn't really know where, like what side you were going to go on. And obviously now, on Spotify, multi-million streams. So obviously you went the music route, but can you like walk us through what you were going at that time and what were you doing before drop shipping? And what did you do? Like, how did you transition from drop shipping to music?
Okay, so what I was doing before drop shipping, I mean, when I met you, I think you was like actively drop shipping, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I was interested in it. That's why I went to the meetup. More the stuff that Scott Hilsey was doing, that I was interested in, because he was doing the one product thing, and that kind of caught my attention. I liked the idea of that. And he was like very close. The meetup was very close to where I lived, and I liked his content and stuff. So I'm like, I've got to go down there and check it out. So that's how I got into that. I can't remember. I did do a drop shipping store. I can't remember if it was before or after the meeting. I don't remember. But so I was already doing music for like 20 years, producing it kind of on and off for fun. I did release a song in maybe 2015 that did moderately well, but then I just didn't really follow up and release anything after that until maybe 2020, I believe, or 20. Yeah, and then I started releasing a little more consistently.
Right. I think when we met, you mentioned you were doing ringtones, right?
That's right, yeah. So in 2015, I just hit on this super random thing where I made a ringtone. It was like a ringtone remix thing, incorporating the iPhone sound. And it like took off like crazy. I was living in England at the time still.
Mm-hmm.
And I just instantly was like successful. So I was concentrating on that for a few years. And then I'm like, well, I should probably go into music now that I've got some passive income. It's probably the perfect time. But it was quite a slow transition. That's kind of where I messed up. And that's why I was looking into drop shipping. I didn't really know what to do. I wasn't sure. I was just trying a bunch of things. Music's always been in the background, but I should have really just concentrated on one thing. But it's not something I'm good at. I'm always trying to do it. I just get interested in things and start following it. I can't help it, really.
It's funny. I think we have the same problem. I have what's
called ADHD.
No, it's not. No, it's called. Well, maybe it is. I haven't gotten tested. I don't know. Maybe I do have ADHD, but it's a shiny toy syndrome.
Shiny toy syndrome. Yeah, I have that too. Definitely have that. But also, I got diagnosed on Instagram memes, and I have ADHD.
Oh, I guess I do too then.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you made, what's so funny is you said it was like an overnight success with that ringtone. It's like a lot of and I keep going back to dropshipping, but there's a lot of parallels there where someone opens up a store, they launch a product, and then overnight, boom, $50,000 in one night, and they scale the store to like $1 million in revenue, and they think, wow, like I made it. This is like what I'm going to do. I'm a drop shipper. I'm going to build all of these stores. And then they quickly find out that it was a false positive. Did you ever have that kind of fear in the back of your mind? Like maybe this one's ringtone was a false positive?
I had the exact opposite problem. So I was making a lot of money, right? And I made a few more ringtones, and it was like so easy. I'm like, this is crazy, it's so easy. So I was just like, God, I'm set for life. I thought I was set for life. I didn't have to worry. And I moved to LA, just waxing all my money, like left, right, and center. And then a few of the ringtones got removed because other people started just downloading my audio and re-uploading it, and also making money. Some people made their own versions of what I was doing, and that's cool. It was a lot of people were doing the same sort of stuff, but some people was ripping my exact audio. So iTunes, they just removed a ton of them, like half of them. And even though I did some of the original ones, they removed mine as well. So a lot of my revenue just disappeared like that. And then just naturally there was more competition, and it just started, like, the sales started going downhill kind of. I still make some money, you know, I still make a decent amount of money, not like it was, but like pretty much enough to get by while I concentrate on doing music. So I'm lucky like that, but it's even, you know, 7 years later, I'm still making money from it.
And where was this ringtone or this music? Because I know it wasn't on TikTok. Because when we met, TikTok didn't exist at the time. It seems like so long ago, right? So was it another platform?
You can buy it on iTunes. That's where I sell them. But I was using Facebook to promote it. Yeah, but actually about TikTok, it did end up on TikTok but it was called Musical.ly, and it took me a while to realize how it was like blowing up. I didn't know anything about Musical.ly. I logged in there and people started sending links saying, "Oh, I found this on Musical.ly." And I looked on there and there was tons of people like dancing and stuff to the ringtones that I created, and there was honestly, I don't know, 100 million views or something on, you know, on across all these TikToks. It was huge. It was huge, man.
Damn, if only you could have capitalized the way artists can today, that would have been crazy.
I know, I kind of missed out there. But the thing is, I didn't want to be like known for this ringtone thing, because I'm trying to do music and be serious about that. It's like feels a little silly to be doing, you know, these silly ringtone things. It was fun and people loved them. I did make a decent effort to make them sound cool. But
But I mean, attention's attention. So like, you could, as long as you have eyeballs on you and people know who you are, you release something.
Yeah, it's true. I should have done that, but I was in a situation where I didn't want people to know who I was, but also I did want some recognition for it. But afterwards, I'm like, God, I wish I'd have got some recognition as a person, because it's quite a big thing that happened, and most people just don't know who I am.
Yeah,
I've met people who knew the ringtones, like, you know, like recently and stuff, and like, oh yeah, I know that ringtone. I'm like, yeah, it was me who did it. It's funny. It's kind of funny to say that.
I probably have heard it somewhere before too. Just probably don't know.
Probably.
It's you.
It was big. It was big. Yeah.
Wow. And also too, like at the time, I don't think a lot of the features that TikTok has for artists didn't exist back then in Musical.ly. So you probably even couldn't have captured as much as you could now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so one of the reasons why I saw you on another podcast, and I knew you did dropshipping, but you also have other experience in marketing. And one of the things that I find interesting in this whole world of music and self-titled artist, or like what was the term? Independent artist, is that there are a lot of parallels with product marketing, which is what I do. And so for product marketing, there's the whole concept of taking products or features to market. So you develop a go-to-market plan, and you think about all the different aspects like distribution, and there could be like events, conferences. There could be also working with like the product team and making sure that features have a time that they're going to be released, and thinking about the strategy, like the content strategy as well. And when I started diving into music, I realized that these artists, independent artists, basically do the same thing that product marketing does, but with songs. And if you consider a song a product or a feature, they have what it's called like a release strategy, and they think about the timing. Like if I'm going to release it on a Friday, I should have content, Monday through Friday. Am I going to who am I going to partner with or collab with on content or on future music? And I just found it so interesting that there's so many parallels between product marketing and independent artists. And
Yeah.
and what is I guess how do you approach releasing songs? Do you go like the album route, or do you just release singles?
Yeah, so far just singles. I do want to make an album, but not because it's good for marketing. So they call it a singles economy. It's a big thing where people are like, it's way more efficient to release singles than albums, because just the way the algorithm works on Spotify. If you release an album on Spotify, you can only pitch one track to, say, the editorials if you're trying to get on an editorial playlist.
Mhm.
So what most artists do is release if they release an EP or an album, they'll release most of it as singles, and then release it as an album, which I would do something like I've got an EP plan, so maybe 5 tracks, not quite an album, but a decent collection of songs. But I'll probably release at least 3 of them as singles. In fact, I sent one for release just yesterday. And this is a totally new, since we're on the subject, I'll just say this real quick. So you were talking about a release strategy, and this time I'm like, I'm just going to send it for immediate release, which means as soon as it's been reviewed, it's going to be live. And instead of doing this whole build up and stuff like that, I'm just going to be like, my song's out right now. And then I'm going to figure out how to promote it after it's out. Because you don't really have to make, a ton of noise as soon as it's out. If it's been released for a year, it doesn't really matter. You can still promote it afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's even true that if you go back to TikTok, songs that are old pop off on TikTok just randomly.
Yeah, I mean, they're new to somebody who's just discovered it, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter the age of the song. It matters if it's trending right now. Like old songs make a comeback based on, I don't know, like a good example is the Kate Bush song that was huge again after, what was it? What's that? Stranger Things. So Stranger Things put this Kate Bush song on. It's a good song. It's a great song, but it was just all of a sudden popular, and it was like in the charts again, just because a TV show had it in a really dramatic scene. And I actually made a cover of that song. I tried to ride the wave of the trend, but I was just a little bit too late on it. I think as it was coming down the trend, I jumped on it, but it's a good song.
So your focus is on first release the music and then figure out how to promote it, whether that's content or pitching.
I wouldn't say generally that is. Just on this occasion, I feel like I haven't released the song for a long time. So I'm just like, I just want to get it out of my head, and I wanted it to be out in January and I missed the month. So I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna send it and then figure out how to promote it later. Because I will still get streams without doing anything, just because I've built up, some listeners on Spotify, and I've got a playlist. I can just stick it in there as soon as it's live.
Yeah. And so what are some of the your marketing strategies when you do get to the stage of like, okay, so the song is out now. Now I need to figure out like how to get it out there into people's, phones or their ears. What's your approach?
So I do run ads mainly. That's the main way I've hit like millions of streams is by running ads. And also the song, like you probably saw in the last podcast I was talking about, you need a reason. You want a reason for people to share it as well. Like, you don't want music to be kind of generic, because people aren't going to want to share it. You want something a little unique in there. So that's the first thing. And then actually promoting it, you want a strong visual to get people's attention. That could be anything really. Like in my case, I'm doing graphics and kind of animated graphics, which works for me. But if you want to be, if you like do your own vocals, for example, you could probably sing on camera or something that could work. So yeah, something to catch the attention is very important. Like I don't care too much about the copy. Like I know that's a big thing in probably what you do, the body copy.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't really care about that. I don't think it matters when you're promoting music. I just say, go listen to my song, that's it.
Short and simple.
Actually, something I do, I haven't tested whether it makes a difference, but I like, so some of my music is drum and bass, right? And I will put drum and bass heads, check this song out, because you're kind of talking more specifically to that person. You know, they'll be like, oh, that's me. And then maybe they'll be more inclined to check it out.
Interesting. A lot of similarities from the courses from dropshipping there.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And I would, in some of the songs that I have, I just have videos of like what actually happens. So the songs that I've written are my time in Latin America. And so like what I say in Spanish is, si lo escribí es porque lo viví. It means if I write it, it's because I lived it. And so if I'm writing
nice.
something, the actual cover art, it would be a video of that moment in time of what I'm experiencing. So if I'm talking about going on a date, it's a video of me literally on the date.
No way, that's cool. That's cool.
It might be illegal.
Yeah,
but
you get the permission, man.
well, some of them I don't even have contact with anymore, right? And it's like Bad Bunny got sued for using.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I heard about that.
So I'm just hoping I don't get too famous or too popular, so I don't get sued.
It's a good problem to have, I think.
Yeah, we'll figure it out once we cross that bridge, once we get there.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and you have experience with creating designs, and that's like your main focus. So obviously the music has to be good, and so you're saying your ace is also the creative aspect that goes with the song, the cover art.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that is hugely beneficial. I mean, I do save money doing that without having to hire a designer, but I lose time because it's very time consuming. But I do it just because I enjoy doing artwork, and at some point I'm going to sell that too. I don't know how well it's going to do, but I feel like my designs are pretty solid, and I'll be selling that on a t-shirt. And it's more than just merch. Like I'd say, I don't think I'm big enough to just put my logo on a t-shirt and people are going to buy it. It's going to be a cool piece of art. And from what I've seen, say like you put house music on a t-shirt, the word in house music, but maybe the cool design, that's more likely to make sales than like say just my name on a t-shirt. But in my case, like I do some pretty cool designs with skulls and shit like that. So I think that kind of thing can do good. Even if people don't like my music, hopefully my plan is that I can sell it to people who just like the artwork.
Yeah, you'll have like random teenagers wearing your merch and they won't even know who they're representing.
Yeah, I'll be like, cool t-shirt, and like, who the fuck are you? I don't worry about it.
And okay, so you mentioned editorials. How do you approach pitching them? Because I've heard this before when I'm watching YouTube videos on like marketing in the music industry and pitching to like editorials, like certain playlists, but I don't exactly understand what that is or how someone does it.
So the editorial thing, I've recently changed my opinion on it a little, just based on other people's videos and stuff. It was like a whole thing where you've got to send your music for release maybe a month before it's actually out to be in with a chance of getting an editorial. Yeah, because apparently there's like 100,000 new tracks uploaded daily.
Oh.
And there's not that many editors. So the chances of them picking your song out are pretty slim. So the longer you give them, the more chance they've got to listen to it. But even if you get on an editorial, I have made some brief appearances on editorials, and this was after release. And it hasn't, you know, gotten that many streams. But if they put you on an editorial from the beginning, it will get more streams, but it's pretty difficult because it's like a lottery. It's like they've got 100,000 songs to choose from on a daily basis.
Damn.
So and then it's even people who've got tons of streams. They say like it only accounts for like 5% of their streams, which it would be good if you get on it, but I don't want to worry about that. Really.
Yeah.
You know, editorial. It'd be nice to get on there, but it's not a big deal. I don't think.
So this is where running ads is really like your bread and butter for your views come from.
Yeah.
And how do you go about like doing the ads? Is it the basic, creative and you're targeting, and then you just run the ad? How do you do it?
Yeah, so just going back to the playlist, the playlist you do want to concentrate on is the algorithmic playlist. There's not much you can do to influence it, other than, in my opinion, there's no data to back it up. If you keep sending traffic to Spotify, I feel like they will reward you by opening up the algorithms for you. And it seems like if you can get, say, 100 streams per day, which is not, when you're first starting out, it's not that easy, but also it's not that difficult. So if you can do that, I think you will get on Discover Weekly, which is a Spotify algorithmic playlist where every Monday they'll get a bunch of new music and you can get really big spikes of streams. You can go from like a few hundred streams a day to thousands of streams. And then once you're in Discover Weekly, they'll keep re-adding it. So every maybe once a month, you'll get a big bump in streams just from the algorithm. So basically you're running ads to trigger an algorithm. You might only get 100 streams directly from your ad, a day. But the back end is the algorithm. And actually, sorry, there's one more. There's the users playlist. So the users will save your music if they like it. And a lot of my streams just come from, it might be the majority of my streams come from people re-listening to the music that they've saved. On certain songs, definitely, but not all of them. Some songs, most of the streams are coming from, they've just saved it to their own playlist.
Do you get that information in the back end of Spotify of people that have saved your song?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I don't.
Yeah, and the best way. I can show you. The best way to track it is through your own playlist, right? So you'll make a playlist and put all your music on your own playlist, and then that's the best way to see if people are clicking through your ad and listening to your music from the data from that playlist. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I see. So you make your own playlist, you add all of your songs, and then also maybe some other songs that sound like you or your genre or your style of music, and then you run that playlist that's on Spotify as an ad.
Yeah, so I personally just have my own music on there just because I've got just enough songs to give someone a decent listen without having to put other people's music on there, which isn't a bad thing. You can do that too. It might even be better. I've just not tried that yet.
Okay, so the ad starts on Facebook or Instagram and people click off of the platform and then they go to the Spotify playlist.
So there's a middle landing page that I like to use. A company called Hyped It, where the interview I just did the other day. That was with Hyped It. Yeah, I've used it for years. It's great. And so that's like a landing page that will give you links to say YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. So most of the time I do have an Apple Music link in there as well. But the majority will go to Spotify. So, and then you can also put your pixel in the landing page, and you can, see you can get data of who's clicking on the Spotify button, and it's a filter as well. So some people will go onto the landing page, and from there they might not even click through again. And then if you keep running the Facebook ad, it's going to find more people who will click through. So it's better to do that than just run an ad directly to Spotify, because you get another layer of data as well.
Yeah.
And you'll get more concentrated listeners.
Does that landing page on the back end, does it show you what information does it show you? Does it show you, I guess it can't tell you like who has saved your music on Spotify, right? That would be on Spotify itself.
It can tell you how many saves you've got. So that hard tip landing page, that'll tell you the locations that people are clicking through, the percentage. So like say I might get 50% click-through rate in America, and then I don't know, like 70% in the UK. It will show me things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll show me what devices they're using. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to check them out because
Yeah.
I haven't dabbled in running traffic. All I've been doing is just the TikToks that are not working for me, which we'll get into because I want to hear your take on this. And I also been doing just posting on my Instagram, which like no one gives a shit. No, to be honest, none of my friends are my friends. They all hate me and they're like, no one cares. And that's all I've been doing in terms of marketing. I haven't really done anything, but I do want to like play around and like just run tests just out of curiosity and boredom. And one of the ideas is it involves merch. And what I wanted to do, and I kind of want to maybe like brainstorm with this with you, is I wanted to create something really polarizing because my idea is people will talk about you if they hate you, if there's controversy, drama, if you're provocative, if you're polarizing, captivating, they'll talk about you. And one of the things that I think is pretty polarizing is having a T-shirt. For me in Spanish, it'll be translated from Spanish to English. It'll be, because I work out a lot, I go to the gym, and so it'll be we should do cardio in bed, and then it'll have a QR code on the back of the T-shirt.
Dude, I've been thinking about this. Sorry, I have to jump in. I'm like, I should put QR codes in the design, but have it a part of the design.
Yes.
Yeah, I've thought about this. It's a good. I don't see anybody doing that either.
Yeah, I mean, I only learned about this because my current work, we're doing this at conferences and events, and I just had the idea of like, this is actually pretty cool. How come people don't put this on T-shirts and advertise things, right? So you could literally do this and have the QR pointing to that landing page you were talking about, and that's like free information. Well, yeah, it's like free information. But I did want to ask you, what do you think about because you said that Spotify will reward you if you send traffic to it, but does it have to be ad traffic or can it be organic traffic?
Sorry, repeat that. I zoned out a little bit. I was thinking of something with the T-shirt and I zoned out. Sorry, bro. Say it again. I was designing in my head. Sorry.
So you mentioned that in Spotify, it'll reward you if you bring traffic to Spotify. If you run ads, right? But does it have to be ads?
It's a theory.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is a good way to test it, right? Because if you're running traffic that's not ads and it's like organic, and Spotify still rewards you, then that's awesome.
They probably won't know the difference between or care the difference between organic.
I feel like they could figure that out. They will know like
why would they care?
The source.
Why would they care if you send?
I guess you're right. Yeah.
But actually, I think, and I was talking to somebody about this, I feel like search traffic will be really strong. Because that's kind of, if someone finds music on TikTok, they're not going to be clicking links, they're going to be searching, aren't they? So, yeah. So I think that's going to be powerful. If you can get people to search for your music, I feel like that would be really good for that algorithm.
Yeah, especially now that UMG deal fell through and like they got rid of millions of songs.
That's
Drake,
crazy.
Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, all gone. Which is true because they had that button on TikTok at the bottom, I think left corner. If you like the song, it'll recognize a song. You click something and it adds it to your Spotify. But now you'll have to
Right.
manually search the song on Spotify.
That must have been a relatively new feature because I did kind of dabble with TikTok and then I think I just forgot about it and didn't really use it because I couldn't get any results. I think with TikTok, you've got to be like really consistent, haven't you? And you like to get any decent traction.
Yeah, the content is really important on
So what
TikTok.
will happen? So say somebody's put a TikTok up, right? And they've like danced to a Weeknd song. Is it just going to be them dancing with no audio?
I think so.
Oh, that's crazy. That's funny.
People literally were making TikToks saying like announcing the news. Like, did you hear the deal fell through? I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna put the Weeknd song on this video. So if you come back a week later, and I'm just muted, you know that the deal fell through. Yeah, it's gone bye.
Wow.
But it's a good thing in a way because it gives a spotlight and attention to smaller artists.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you talked about this already, but content strategy, TikTok. What's your content strategy like?
I don't do content yet, but I know I need to do it to reach the next level from what I'm learning. Plus, it's free, like you don't have to pay. I don't mind spending money on ads because generally I get a return. But you can blow up quicker and just have a more personal connection with people if you're doing content and stuff. So that's definitely my plan. But for me, it'd be more like production based, showing like techniques, tutorials, that kind of thing. I reckon that's what I'll be doing. Because I spend just all my days creating, and I realize nobody ever sees it or hears it. I release like one song every few months. So I'm gonna start releasing more regularly. But I'm like, I should really be getting something more out of the time that I'm spending. Like just film what I'm doing. So that'd just be easy content. I think Ty Lopez said, "Get paid for what." Not that it's what I'm trying to get paid for, but he says get paid for what you already do on a daily basis. So in my case, you might end up making money in some way by posting the content, what you're doing, but at least get something out of it instead of just creating stuff and not getting something out of it.
Yeah, that's like the dream. I think it's kind of hard to operationalize that in a way because there is a barrier to entry. Like, right, like if what you do is you go to the gym every day, like, I mean, I guess you could set up a tripod, you could be that person, but I would personally just want someone to follow me around and like record me, kind of like Gary Vee. In that sense, there's like a barrier to entry where you have to hire someone full time.
Well, what else? You do the product marketing, right? I mean, that's going to be interesting to somebody if you show some of that. If you're allowed to, I don't know. Do you work for a company or?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So that's something though I have to be careful. I can't record like meetings or any sensitive information.
Yeah.
So it'll have to be like this, where the camera's just on me and I'm just typing. But that's something I do want to do. I do want to dabble in going live. I think there's a lot of hidden, well, not hidden. I think there's a lot of potential in going live on LinkedIn. I know a lot of people go live on YouTube or like TikTok, but I don't see a lot of working professionals going live on LinkedIn and just.
I didn't know you could do that on LinkedIn. That's crazy.
Yeah, you could go live. You can go live as an individual or a company account. And I mean, no one is going live and just documenting their day-to-day working at a 9 to 5. I mean, there's people on TikTok literally going live on TikTok recording their 9 to 5, working at an Amazon warehouse, just packaging things, right? So it's like,
No way.
I swear, yeah. And it's pretty entertaining to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I've spent a couple of minutes and they're like, dang, that's crazy. They move fast, dude. They're like on it. Like, I got a lot of respect for those people. They work hard and fast. And the comments will be like, yo, why is my package late? Hurry up. Chop chop. It's like making fun of the workers. And yeah, they're making money, like recording, literally working a 9 to 5. So it's like, if they could do it, I'm sure anyone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my case, I would be making music, which I thought I want to do on Twitch or something. Yeah, just record myself making a beat or remixing something. And then not only that, after you've done that, you can edit it down and then make it a YouTube video, right? And then edit it down even further and make a TikTok out of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally like the constant strategy, right? Like start with like documenting what Gary Vee says, documenting what you're doing with like a live stream, so you capture everything, and then make that video on YouTube. And like we said, making like shorts or reels, and that's really how you stay relevant. I think now in today's economy, it's attention economy, is you stay relevant by like what reels or shorts or TikToks go viral, you know, what appears on people's For You page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that? I think we're going to get into AI stuff, right? But do you know that you can make an avatar of yourself and it'll sound exactly like you and move around exactly like you? And that's, I tell you now, that is going to be the future of content. It's going to be people making an avatar of themselves. They're going to use ChatGPT, say, make a video of me dancing and make it say this and that. It'll take them like 10 seconds, and then they'll just have a bunch of videos of an avatar of themselves doing TikTok shit.
Dang.
It's wild, isn't it?
That'd be crazy. Yeah. I know there's a lot of companies making like their, not mascots, but some kind of like you said, avatar that doesn't exist.
When I say avatar, it looked like us on this video. You won't be able to tell the difference.
Dang, that's scary.
I've seen it. I've seen the guys running ads, and he's like, "This is an avatar. It's not really me." And I'm like, "Holy shit, that's fucking good."
It's actually him. What if it is actually him? He's just trying to sell the software. Like,
oh yeah, pretending to be an avatar. Yeah, he might be doing that. Now that I think about it.
I mean, it's smart. Like, go credit to him. But yeah, in terms of AI. Keep going out of focus. In terms of AI,
I know what's back there.
I don't know. Hopefully nothing. How has AI, I guess, like influenced or shaped the way you make music, or even like market it, for better or worse?
It's not entering my music realm right now, but for artwork, yeah, I've got like a lo-fi side project, and when it first came in the scene, I'm like, oh God, we're doomed. Artists are doomed. And then I thought about it. I'm like, let me try it out. I'm going to try Midjourney out. But there's an art to knowing what is good. So you can like ask Midjourney to make you an image, and you've got to know what to tell it, and you've got to have experience to know if it's good enough to use as well. And it's almost an art, like it's fun. I like Midjourney. It's like just tell it anything that you can imagine, it'll show it there. It's like really inspiring. So you can even just use it for references, because most artists and illustrators, they have reference images from, say, Google is probably the obvious way to do it. But now you can get something super specific that never existed before. And then you can use a reference to create your own artwork from the reference.
So do you personally use like ChatGPT or Midjourney when you're creating artwork?
Yeah. I've used Midjourney for, like I said, for the lo-fi project, not for the stuff that I'm doing for Dante Roʻze. That's still, I'm doing like a hand-drawn thing. Like some of my stuff is still hand-drawn on paper. It's a long process though. But one of them, actually, what I did was, so it's kind of only half cheating, I put my own artwork that I'd hand drawn on paper. I uploaded that to Midjourney, and I basically said, make a new version of this. So it was a raven, right, for my artwork. I hand drew it, give it to Midjourney. I said, make an owl, but that looks like my artwork. And it did, and it was really good. And I still spent a good few hours editing it, so it definitely looked like my artwork. But it saved me a few hours to just have a base to work with.
Dang, that's crazy.
And I've already I've sold a couple of hoodies with the owl on it already.
Oh shoot!
Shout out to the boys who bought my hoodies, by the way.
Yeah, and I checked out the store. It's a Shopify store, or is it a Spotify store?
So it is a Shopify store, but the store isn't live yet. But it's linked to my Spotify. Just a few products are on my Spotify. So if you go on my Spotify, you can see my merch on there. And you're technically checking out with Shopify, but it's just linked on the back end.
I see. Yeah. I mean, it'll be fun for you, right? Because you've dabbled with Shopify. Oh my god, it's confusing.
Such similar names.
I know, we're so similar. Spotify, Shopify, but you've dabbled with Shopify.
Yeah, I've got a really nice looking store. I'm just I'm still working on it. There's a lot of products that I should probably just launch it how it is, to be fair. But yeah, there's just a few things I want to fix up before making the store live. So yeah, I have experience with Shopify, or like you say, with the drop shipping and stuff.
Yeah. So really where the AI comes in for you, if it at all, is during the creative process when it comes to making the art, the cover art.
Mostly just for references. Not yet. Maybe if I want to do some like side project, I've actually thought of a side project where it's just all AI. From the artwork to as much as I can do with AI with the music, like there's AI plugins that will do singing. And I do still want to work with real singers, definitely. But for a fun side project, I think you can literally just type in what you want the audio to be, and it will just sing it, and you can mess around with the melody.
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy, because I use AI for the vocals, but I usually like slap it on to my vocals, and it just gets rid of my accent and pitch corrects it.
Well, yeah, I mean, auto-tune's been around for years, so it's just like advanced auto-tune, what you're using, I guess. But having a voice come out of nowhere, which is what these new plugins are doing, which I knew this was going to happen. I pitched this company once, this plugin company I said, you should have like a virtual singer. And this was years ago when I thought of this. But I think it's going to, I don't know what it's going to do for the music industry. I don't know if it's a good thing.
I mean, I think it just, if you ask me, someone who's like not really an artist, to be real, I think it just meshes, it brings like the non-artists like me a lot closer to the actual artist, and it makes the music less indistinguishable of being like what's objectively good.
Yeah,
right. I think it just makes it a little bit more harder for actual artists.
Yeah,
but I think it'll get to a point where maybe you'll be able to tell like, oh, that vocal is AI, and it'll cause people to really seek authentic artists and singers.
Yeah, it's like you can compare it to, say, people who still listen to vinyls as opposed to streaming. There's always going to be people who prefer the realness of a vinyl to streaming. I don't think that the gap would be as big as that. There'll be still, everyone will prefer to hear a human and see a human, like me included, definitely. And it's not just the sound of the voice. It's like there's a real person there, and they have ideas and stuff. Like I work with this singer called Rune, and she's part of the production as well. And you know, she has ideas that an AI singer's not going to have the same ideas. You know.
Yeah.
So,
I also think there's actually like two examples I can think of, right? Like just came to mind. There's Drake and Bad Bunny. So Drake, about a year ago, there was a song that was released, and Drake got mad because it wasn't him. He made a tweet. He said AI has gone too far this time, right?
He says that now, but watch this. He will probably be at a point where he doesn't even have to turn up to a studio.
Damn.
He will have his voice recorded, and
yeah,
you know.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes it easier for the artists then, because they just have to, like, yeah, I like the song, run it. I give permission, and you know, it's hands off, and I mean, you don't even have to. You can use ChatGPT or another like ghostwriter. Yeah, and then also with Bad Bunny, someone did what I did, so they created the song, and then they just added Bad Bunny's like vocals on top of the vocal of their own vocals, and it became like an actual hit. And people like on TikTok started saying, "Damn, like Bad Bunny actually needs to release this song. Like just give it to Bad Bunny and have it be an official song." And Bad Bunny like came out saying on like a WhatsApp group chat saying like, if you like this song, you don't you're not my fan. You're not supporting me. And so a lot of artists are pushing back on the AI, but I mean, there's no stopping AI, to be honest. Like, what can you really do?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because you're like you say, you're not considering yourself an artist, but you're interested in getting into it. So artists are like very sensitive and protective, most of them, you know, and like, I'm not really like that. I think I heard this somewhere, right? Somebody said a piece of art is half about you and half about the person who's listening. So, no, it was better than that. It was like a piece of art isn't complete until someone's received it. So my point kind of is, if the end result is good and somebody enjoys it, it doesn't matter too much how it got there.
Yeah. I mean, that is the beauty of art, right? It's like what you said, it takes someone else to care about it for it to have meaning.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about is
people are out here like taping bananas to walls and calling that artwork. You know,
I mean, it is art. Come on, it is art. It's beautiful. A wall flip. It's a beautiful art. Who doesn't want to see a banana taped to a wall?
That's true.
But I think the only problem I have is the rights of artists, like of the vocals. Like, what happens when one of these artists passes away, and the music industry still uses their vocals to make songs? Like, where does that money go? Who does it go to? The family, the kids?
It is. It's a weird one. I've never looked into it, but yeah, it's like when Michael Jackson pops back up, I'm like, who's authorized it for starters? Because he hasn't. I'm pretty sure. Is it like, do the label have some sort of weird
clause
things
or
written
something
in where it says if you die, we're still gonna make music from you and stuff? It could. Record labels are shady, man. It's like, I mean, I am on one record label, and they're totally cool. They're like, they're modern. There's no weirdness. It's very straightforward. I'm grateful for them because it's one of my biggest songs. Well, it is my biggest song that's on this label, and I'm still actively working with those guys. But yeah, releasing independently, you can't really beat that.
Yeah, I think
I kind of went off.
No, I mean, I do too. This whole conversation is like off, but just to put a pin on it is, I think that these like AI vocals, the data sets that people are using should be considered intellectual property of the actual artist, so that they have full rights to their own vocals, no matter where it is, who uses it, what software, where it's used to like transform art. and it should be considered intellectual property so that they can receive like monetary gains. I don't know what it's called in the music industry, but receive that money.
Royalties, I think.
Yeah, royalty. There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And
that's the thing. I think they'll start licensing to people. You can pay to use. I don't know which artists, not big artists, they
smart.
wouldn't do it, but you know, like mid-level artists would probably license
Their vocals.
the use of their vocals for a fee. I think that could be it.
Bro, that's a business right there.
I know, right?
Can you imagine
Let's
like isn't it like a Spotify? Like, aren't they just releasing songs on their platform? So what's the difference between another platform that has a host of thousands of vocals to lease?
Oh, are we talking about two different things?
I don't know.
I'm talking about using an AI replica of an artist that exists. What are you
Yeah,
talking
same
about?
thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, replica as in like the voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So say like Drake wouldn't do it. Probably not. But say Drake, for example, I can go on like a website and say you can use the sound of Drake for like $500 and write your own lyrics. I don't know, this is getting weirder. The more I talk about it, the less likely it sounds like it's a good idea. But
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean,
but maybe like mid-level artists or maybe not even famous artists, you know, but
yeah, or it could be like a platform where an artist can submit their vocals and they can put their own price.
well, actually, so this does exist, but it's like it's just going to be session vocalists, and somebody has done this already. I've seen this recently. There's a plugin that you can use in your software to make music where, yeah, you'll just type in a bunch of words and I think we talked about this already, didn't we, earlier?
I think
in
so.
this video, not the last one that didn't work. Yeah. Yeah, you can either sing into it like you do and change your accent, but it'll be a totally different voice that comes back, or you can type.
Yeah.
So that's already been done.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Oh well.
But what I'm talking about is real people who are already influential. And the thing that you would get out of it is saying you technically licensed this person. He's technically on the track, but he didn't have to show up and do it for you. So that's where they would win, because they wouldn't have to do anything, because the software, you would already be able to use their voice without them actually having to turn up and sing for you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about like a data set. So like the way it works is you need to take them singing or talking and take small clippets over time in like 10 minutes, an hour, 10 hours, and then you run it through a system so it generates a pattern of that voice singing in certain tones, frequencies, pitches, whatever. And then you can throw any voice, like my voice singing or your voice singing, slap the data on top of it, and it'll transform my voice into a Drake or a Weeknd. And so
that already exists, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I'm saying
the
platform where it's like either a subscription model or a licensing fee doesn't exist, or at least I don't think it exists.
Right.
Yeah, but it would have to. I mean,
see.
there are websites that host thousands of these like vocal training models, but it's free, and I think legally it has to be free.
Yeah.
Unless you have permission from the artist to license it, which goes back into, does that platform exist or should it exist in the first place?
I don't know, and it's just weird to think where shit's gonna be in a few years from now. I just want to see it. I just want to go into the future and see what it's gonna be like right now, dude.
Well, I'll throw in a pitch deck and I'll pitch you the idea concrete, and we'll go.
Yeah.
So if you have any, if there's like any starting artist, beginner artist, what are some tips that you have for them in order to reach, let's say, like 1 million views or streams across all platforms?
1 million streams. So I'm trying to think the process of how I get to 1 million streams. So I would try and push one song. It is good to have a bunch of music, but it's better to get one song to 1 million than it is to get 10 songs to 100,000. And I think it'd be easier, just the way the momentum would work, and
Yeah.
You'll just have more social proof. And like for me, for example, I do get some people using my music in TikToks and reels and stuff. Not a huge amount, but say there might be 1,000, I'm not sure. But then say those 1,000 TikToks have been seen 1,000 times. Like you can get a lot of views that way. So yeah, so try and push one song. If you want to do content, it's gonna help, certainly. But running ads is the easiest way to do it. If you do both, that's gonna be way better. And also collaborating as well. Pretty important to collaborate, I think.
And you mentioned the difference between like a featured artist and another. You said another word.
That's right, a primary artist. So
there you go.
If you work with someone, if you like hire a singer, you want to try and get them to be a primary artist on your release, because most of them might just want to be a featured artist, because there'll be more visibility on Spotify then. If they're a featured artist, it's like kind of hidden, and also that's it. It's kind of hidden.
Got it. Okay. And I mean, we talked about this. I was gonna say, I lost my train of thought. It was on TikTok on controversy. I think one of the things that works really well is like controversy and drama. And first of all, I've struggled with TikTok as like a way to make content. It seems like I can't get past 200 views. So like my strategy would be the content itself on TikTok, and whatever video does really well. Like if there's a video that gets like 10,000 views, I'd run that as an ad and test that.
Yeah,
but I haven't got there. I'm still trying to figure out how to get over 300 views.
Well, you can do it the reverse way. You can do a bunch of content, run them as ads, and then see from the data which one performs best, and then do more content like that. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. A/B tested, and yeah, it's like the ad creatives.
Because you might only be getting 200 views, not because people don't like it, just because the algorithm's just not in your favor.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know too much about how TikTok works, really, but
I don't either.
I know you've got to be kind of consistent, post tons, and then that's when they'll start giving you more. So I think, honestly, there's so many people uploading. I think some of it's just got to be random. Like it's got to be, like a slot machine. Like, let's give this guy a bit of a chance, and just like a 1 in 10, they'll give you a bit more of a boost. I don't know.
I mean, I heard it was like there's like a pool, like it'll send the video to like 200 people, or like roughly, depending on a couple of metrics like watch time, repeated watch time, or like other like indicators. Then they'll send it to like more people. But if it doesn't perform in that first like 150 to 200 people, it just kills the video, and that's pretty much it. That's, I think, is the algorithm of of TikTok. I think the only difference from like Reels is that for on Instagram and Reels, it'll send it to like a combination of new users that don't know you and also a mix of your friends. So
Right.
depending on how your friends are interacting and how long they're watching your Reels, and also the combination of you users, then they'll send it to more people. So I
Got
think
it.
there is a bit of luck, but there is a bit of like what you're saying, like the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video or your content does play a role. And I've noticed that drama T does amazing on TikTok. People love to see like train wrecks and controversies and things that are of that nature. And they also videos that start with like you, like the word you, like you should do this, you'll never believe X, Y, and Z, tend to do better than videos that start with like, oh, I'm gonna show you the song that I made, I think it comes from I think it's like a psychology thing. I don't know where I heard this or who taught me this, but it's like Chris Voss. I remember, yeah. Chris Voss is like a negotiator. He has a book called actually it's behind me. Never Split the Difference. And
Yeah,
he teaches
I know
you
that
that.
book.
Oh yeah, did you get to the part where he teaches you where he says if you want to catch someone's attention, let's say someone's like kind of dazing off, you change the way you speak. You make pauses, but then you'll also go from like, I went to the store and I bought this a piece of a loaf to saying, when you go to the store and you think you're buying a piece of loaf, like changing it, going from I to you, it catches people's attention more. And I don't
Oh,
remember why, but something I learned.
I've heard some stuff along these lines, but not in that way. That's interesting. But yeah, I didn't read the book. I've just I started to read it, and then I just didn't. I don't know. But it's out. Yeah, I should probably read it.
Yeah. So for 2024, what are some goals you're trying to hit? I guess some like overall music, but maybe also like a marketing point of view.
So I want to do some more content definitely. Me and Moon, the singer, where we've got some stuff planned where we're gonna show some like making of our music,
Mhm.
and then we want to do some live shows, DJing, and she'll still
Yeah.
sing live and stuff. So that's definitely the big kind of end goal, really. That's the whole thing that. Well, it's a big part of the reason I do music, to actually be out playing it live. So that's
Mhm.
definitely on the cards. And also like teaching, I want to do. I started writing a book actually about marketing, music marketing. So I've got to
Mm.
finish that off.
Does it have a name yet, or how far are you
It
along
does,
already?
but it's so good that I don't want to leak it until it's
Oh,
live.
okay.
I'll tell you. Sorry, everyone, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you after the stream. It's a really good name.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited. Awesome. So
Well, I've
okay,
built
so
it up now. Maybe it's not that good, but still, I'm
no,
gonna
don't sell
keep it
yourself
under
short.
wraps.
So you're gonna give all the tips and tricks on all the secret sauce in the book.
Everything, and then
Everything. Okay.
the idea is to have a video, not necessarily a course, because I don't want it to be like you do this, do that. I
Mm.
just want to show what I've done. Like, here's what worked for me.
Mhm.
I'm going to show you how I do it, which is the opposite of what we were just saying, where you got to make it. Say you do this. Um, yeah, I just want to do a video walkthrough and just show the data, because data is very valuable, and I'll just show the ads
Oh,
that I'm
interesting.
running and all the back end stuff. So
I don't think I've seen anyone do that on YouTube. Like showing the back end, the
yeah,
marketing
I guess not
aspect, showing the
either. Yeah,
numbers, data.
yeah, I'll show the numbers.
Reminds me of a dropshipping course, which it could be a part of it, right? Like the merch, setting up a merch store,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
to advertise that.
I'll show. I'll definitely show I mean, it's not live yet. I don't know how well it's going to do, but I've got a decent amount of faith in that.
Are you gonna do everything, like how to make a beat to like how to master vocals? No,
No, just marketing.
marketing. Okay.
I think there's a lot of people telling you how to make music, so I don't need to do that. But I mean, I'm going to do that for my songs just because I feel like people will be interested to see how my songs that I'm releasing have been made. But for this book, it's just purely getting streams. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Who knows? What probably will end up happening is people will come for the marketing and then ask for like, hey, can you also make a course on how you make beats? That'll probably happen.
Yeah, I would love to do that. You know, I love to show people how I make the music as well.
Yeah.
People are interested. Yeah.
And so when you're going to these events and recording, are you also going to run it in parallel with new releases?
What do you mean?
Like if you're going to be performing with rrrodustіon, let's say like in August, are you going to drop intentionally a new track like a week before, a couple days before that event to like build the momentum, or maybe after the event?
It's a good idea. I've not really thought of that. We've got a lot of songs that we're just going to release as soon as they're ready. But yeah, that's a good idea though. It's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting. Yeah, but if you ever perform in Los Angeles, let me know. I'll stop by.
Yeah, please do. Definitely.
All right, Dave, thanks again for joining the podcast. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Dante Roẓe Music. Shoot me a DM if you want to, chat, ask me anything. My music on Spotify and everywhere else, so I'm sure you'll find it.
Awesome. And if there's let's just say an artist out there who makes reggaeton music, and they wanted you to remix their song into drum and bass, is that possible? Is that something you're up for?
Yeah, I can definitely look at it. I'll see if it works with what I'm doing. If you've got a good solid vocal, AI free, ideally.
Oh, I'm out then.
I'm just kidding. I might be all right with the AI vocals.
Oh, I got some bangers, dude. Like some of the stuff.
Yeah?
You know the reason why I started making like the AI music is because during the Spotify rewrap, I discovered. So there's a song that I discovered in 2023, like in May, and from May.
Oh, sorry. Hang on a minute. Just give me a sec. Oh yeah, you can take it.
What happened?
That's okay. The cleaners needed to grab something.
Oh, dang. I thought you were surprised by my story. I was like, damn.
Sorry. What was the story?
So there's a song that I discovered in May, and from May to when Spotify rewrap went out, I listened to that song 580 something times within the span.
Which song?
It's pretty fuck, what is it? It's like a confusing name. Something Pretty Boy. It's by A$AP Ferg or A$AP Rocky. Sorry, A$AP Rocky. And I listened to that song like 580 times over the span of like a couple months, and I was thinking like, wow, damn, I'm making someone rich and it ain't me. So I gotta like start making my own songs. So that's how I got into.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's literally it. And I was traveling through.
But do you enjoy it though? Do you enjoy doing it?
So this is what I wanted to also ask you about, like passion, because when I started making these songs, it's the first time ever in my life where I am so excited about what I'm doing that I don't want to go to sleep, but my eyes are so heavy and so tired that I physically like just lay in my bed and fall asleep. But I'm having dreams, and I get so excited in my dreams about waking up and making more music that I actually wake up. But I'm still, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm still sleepy. Or there's times where I try to fall asleep and I know I'm so tired because my eyes are so heavy, but I just can't fall asleep because I'm so excited about the morning and it's a Saturday and I have no work and I can just focus on making music. And I've never experienced that until making music. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but that's like how I feel
Yeah, of
about
course,
music
of
production.
course. Like pretty much daily. It's like I can't wait to get. It's like annoying. I like sleeping, but going to bed, I'm like, I just want to wake up and get back to it. Yeah, it's yeah, you're in the right game then for sure.
So my problem with that is because I'm so new at music, I don't have a sense objectively of what sounds good or what's good. Because I think everything that I
Yeah,
make is good.
here's the problem, and this is funny. This is what happened to me. So it takes getting better at music to realize how bad you are. So the better I got at making music, the more I realized I wasn't good enough. It was like crazy.
Dang.
Like when anyone starts out making music because they've made something, like, holy shit, I made music, they think it's amazing. Like I used to have these awful beats that I used to play to my friends. I used to force them to listen to it. They must have hated coming round to my house. Like, listen to my new beats, and they're like, ah.
That was funny.
So yeah, I know what you're saying. It is hard to realize. It's like it's not until you look back and realize how bad some of your stuff was. You know.
Yeah, it reminds me of the quote from Steve Jobs where he literally says, "It's not until you look back where you can connect the dots going forward."
Yeah,
Yeah. So like, I have like a process. Like before I put something on Spotify, I'll like download it onto my phone, and I'll listen onto my phone speaker through my phone speaker, and
that's
then I'll
smart.
put it
That's
into
smart.
my car and listen it to it from my car speaker, and then I'll put on my earphones or headphones and I'll listen to it through my headphones. And if it passes all those three like tests, then I'll upload it to Spotify.
Bro, this is funny. It's like you're saying this like no other artist has ever done this. It's like
No,
the car test is the whole. It's like just a thing that the car test is the
is
holy
it?
grail of test. Yeah.
Oh damn, natural.
Yeah, man. The car test is everything, man.
That's an actual thing called a car test.
Yeah, the car test. Look at it. Car music test. There's like memes and everything. The more you get into it, you'll see it. But
Car. That's actually funny.
yeah, but
Because
the phone one is a really important one. I've not done that before, and I've done it afterwards and realized one of my songs sounded like shit on a phone. I'm like, oh god, because a lot of people are going to listen to music through a phone, which is a sad thing because we spend a lot of time perfecting how music sounds on good speakers, just for some kid to be like, yo, this sucks.
yeah,
It's a good way to test
I mean
it.
it's true. Yeah, because
And laptop speakers as well. Laptop speakers is a good one to test.
Oh, I didn't do that. Well, I could do it. Yeah, that's actually damn. So that's like it's their phone, laptop, car. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny.
the most important thing is getting used to the sound of anything you listen through. Like, say your headphones you've got on right now, just being very used to them and how other music sounds is more important than having like really expensive speakers or headphones. Is knowing the sound inside and out.
Yeah, especially when I guess when you're making or for the vocals, right? If you're trying to like EQ the vocals, that's really important. Because I noticed one of the things is when I play the songs on my car as opposed to here, the vocals will sound different. It'll either be louder or it'll sound too echoey. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't catch that here. But the car, it's like, oh, I should go back and re-edit the vocal right there.
Yeah, you sounds like you're on the right path, honestly.
Damn.
If you're thinking about that kind of thing this early, then yeah, it's good.
Any other I guess like industry like common knowledge that isn't so common for the person beginning?
Yeah, you get feedback. If you're talking about production, get feedback from honest people. Like, don't ask your mum if she likes it, because she loves you and she's gonna be, you know, the Submit Hub is a good place to get feedback. They'll be honest with you, and also they might put your music on a playlist.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard this.
You've not heard of Submit Hub?
No.
Well, yeah, they'll give you feedback on your music if they don't like it, if they don't want to put it on the playlist, or if they do like it, they'll put it on a playlist. They're like curators. So I do this quite a lot as well. I forgot to mention that earlier. But the feedback is actually useful. Like people, like I say, artists can be sensitive, and people say, "Oh, I don't like this and I don't like that." It upsets them, and they never use it again. But it's important to get feedback from the right people, and these are the right people to get feedback from.
Dang, yeah, I'm gonna check this out. Yeah, this is I think this is a great tool. It looks like a great tool to like put in like your arsenal for like a marketing strategy. Because you said if it gets accepted, it'll go on playlists.
Yeah, so like you will pick a bunch of different curators who have some big playlists, and it might cost you say $20 for maybe 5 to 10 curators, and then maybe half of them will accept it if it's decent. And some of my music is still on them playlists today. It doesn't always work out well because they might have a huge playlist that has tons of followers on the playlist, but you might end up right at the bottom of the playlist, and then you're barely going to get the streams. But then there's other times they might put it at the top and just leave it there for a long time. More often than not, they'll remove it at some point. But you know, but yeah, it's valuable for the feedback. So it's win-win, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna check this out. Because I'm curious if my music is actually good, or I'm just, you know, delusional. You never know. Hey, I guess another good test would be like running the ads, right? If
the
music isn't good. Yeah, man, I learned a lot. Thank you so much.
People will be quick to tell you if they don't like it on the comments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily on TikTok, no one has said anything. People just like the video and that's it. No comments or anything.
I'll have to check out your videos on TikTok.
They're terrible. So. Well, thank you again for coming on the podcast. And
yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah,
Man.
so they can find you at Dante Rose Music on all platforms.
Yeah, I'll just search Dante Rose and you'll come across. You see some like illustrations of skulls and stuff. That's me.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.